We've seen a good amount of Neo Geo and SNK arcade games being released onto the PS4 and various consoles via the Arcade Archive series, and the newest entry to this is Super Baseball 2020. But is this game a grand slam, or does it end up just striking out? Super Baseball 2020 is a futuristic baseball title that was originally released in the arcades in Japan in 1991. A few years later, it would see a home version of Neo Geo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis. This is the original arcade version from what I can tell. It has both the English and the Japanese versions, as well as two other modes, the Caravan Mode and the Hiscore Mode, for you to tackle. If you're unfamiliar with the title, it features 12 playable teams, featuring male and female characters, as well as robots. The coolest thing about the game was the money system. Every time you complete a play, whether it's getting a hit, a home run, or being able to pull off a double or triple play, you end up earning money, and sometimes lose it for getting out or striking out in general. This money can then be used to upgrade your character in their various stats, like hitting power, speed, or even converting them into a robot of various qualities so you're able to bash the ball even better. All the game's matches take place at the Cyber Egg Stadium. Here is a dome-like stadium that is done in a very cool futuristic way with many adjustments from traditional baseball. You have various things on the field itself, such as stop. If the ball ends up running onto any of these fields, the ball comes to a complete dead stop, allowing fielders to easily grab it, as well as you'll have crackers that are set up on the field as well between the innings. These are basically landmines, so in the middle of play, if you're trying to run for the ball, you may end up hitting one of these and getting your character blown up. It'll damage them, as well as, of course, the player that's running on the bases will most likely end up getting to another base or become safe. Also, getting a home run isn't traditional. You have to hit it dead center in order to get a home run, with the left and right sides of the outfield being covered with the same glass that covers the rest of the audience. It'll bounce off of that and come back onto the field of play, so you have to make sure that your players are in the right positions. So getting used to playing it off of this takes a little bit of time, but it adds to the overall enjoyment of this particular title. The main mode is a season mode where you'll be able to pick your team and go up against all the other teams in the league, trying to see who ends up being the best and eventually competing for the championship. The Caravan Mode has you with a strict time limit, with your goal being to see how high of a score that you're able to get. The Hiscore Mode, though, also is similar, but instead of having a time limit just to see how many runs you're able to produce, you're going against all the other teams. There's no save functionality, so your goal is just to see how many wins you're able to rack up. Since the game is an arcade title, the way that it handles when you need to put another credit in is based on the number of outs that you've done or a time limit. Thankfully, you can adjust this, though, all in the options menu, which I highly recommend bumping it up so it doesn't become quite as much of a nuisance. From the technical side of things, the game ran smoothly. I didn't run into major glitching, crashing, or slowdown of any sort. The game does have a number of other options to deal with as far as the resolution, some of the screen filters, if you want to dabble into that as well. Super Baseball 2020 is available now on the PlayStation 4 for $7.99. It doesn't feature a full trophy list or platinum. It's very similar of a trophy list to the other Arcade Archives games. I really wish they would put more effort into these trophy lists. Since I love these classic games, I would love to be able to get better trophies out of them. Overall, Super Baseball 2020 is a game I loved from my childhood. It's one that I played a ton on the Super Nintendo. There is a save feature here, though, in this mode. Even though it is the arcade one, you can save your progress at any time, thankfully. Just like the other Arcade Archives games, it's a bit pricey considering you're only getting the one game and there's not even the platinum thrown into it. So it's a bit harder to recommend due to the price. But as the game is itself and how much I loved it from back in the day, if you've never played it and you're a baseball fan, I do recommend it. I'm going to be giving Super Baseball 2020 an 8 out of 10. But anyway, guys, it's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.